Liver King Chef Lionel. I've been cooking since 2006, ever since I can remember. My dad taught me to cook at a very young age, and I've been a full-time personal chef since October 10th, 2014. What I like about cooking is definitely just being creative. It's a way that I'm able to creatively express myself. And then as a personal chef, that's when I got introduced to Liver King. We started working with each other. I would cook for them. It started off as a contract gig. About twice a year, I would cook for them for the company parties and kind of just blossomed from there. They offered me a full-time position as their chef. Dinners that are basically TV ready, food styling, and of course, making really tasty food for them. It really gives me an outlet to release my creativity. I really wanted to show people what goes behind a true Saturday dinner for Liver King. There's a lot more that goes into that 1-minute video, and we're gonna show you everything, all the changes in time, and what we gotta deal with whenever we're creating one of these meals. Right now it's 9:20. We're getting ready to head to Liver King's house. Monkfish heads. We're working with that today. Monkfish is called poor man's lobster. It has a similar texture and similar flavor to lobster, so worked with it before a few times. This right here, Zubetti. Yeah, we have a kami inside. Let's do this. So for this dinner series, we're really going into what it takes to make these meals. What I'm really curious to see is what are some things that you would like to see going forward on our YouTube channel. Some of the comments that stand out most are definitely the blink twice if you're being held captive. When do you inject steroids? Or when do you do this with steroids? Something steroids. And those are always just make you crack up, and they're probably on at least one in every post. So today we're gonna make 4 types of sushi. We're gonna make Striker's favorite roll, which is gonna be salmon, cream cheese, and avocado. Then we're gonna do a tuna roll, which is gonna be tuna, avocado, and cucumber. And then aside from those, we're gonna do a raw liver sushi, nigiri style, and then a hand roll with testicles and a homemade mayo. This right here is braised ribs, still pretty frozen, so we're gonna thaw them out for a bit and then slow cook those. I'll probably do like 4 spices on here, which is normally much heavier spice than I usually do. This is the bone marrow. We're extracting more of the fat from the bone marrow just to get as much as possible out. So we had this bone marrow cooking at about 150 degrees overnight, and that extracts a lot of the fat from the bone marrow without cooking it too much. Always gotta have a lot of potatoes. All times. I will put their diet as kind of a ketogenic, but they do eat carbs. So they always have their really healthy fats throughout their day. And their main goal is just to live as long as possible and just be an overall just physically great human being. They do that through their food, their workout, and their general lifestyle. With Liver King family, one thing about them is that they always want the bar raised. They always want you to go above and beyond, and they expect that from you. Whoever they hire, once you reach one goal, they don't want you to be dormant and just stay at that one goal. They want you to reach higher. So like a lot of stuff that LK eats, people need to understand that a lot of pork cultures eat. So like in the Mexican culture, we eat liver, we eat kidney. So I grew up eating a lot of this. And, the richer cultures or cultures with money, they'll go for the white meat chicken or the really clean cuts of beef such as ribeye, and they tend to stay away from the organs and some of the fattier meats, and that's where a lot of issues with malnutrition or not getting the proper nutrition come about, because you can't get the nutrition from liver, for instance, in a slab of ribeye, or you can't get some of the bone marrow benefits from a New York steak strip or some boneless chicken breast. So this is the spice blend that I had earlier. Only thing I added to it was I blended up some onions and garlic in here, along with some honey and a little bit of apple cider vinegar. That's gonna give it more of a sweet, almost like a barbecue sauce flavored, but not to that extent. And we'll be slow cooking this for about 4 hours. We will see y'all in 4 hours. It's very difficult to get fresh wasabi here in America. You know, we always want to get the fresh organic horseradish root and stay away from the canned wasabi, because the canned wasabis or the tubed wasabis usually have a lot more ingredients that are definitely not up to par with the way Liver King and his family eat. They love the hamburgers. With the hamburgers, we have to make them extra fatty. So to do that, what we'll do is we'll get 2 parts ground beef, 80-20. That means 20% fat. And then what we'll also do is for every 2 pounds of ground beef, we'll add 1 pound of Iberico pork. And that's gonna add extra fat to our burgers, make them extra juicy. So all their eggs and a lot of their meat do come from their ranch. And you know, it's gonna be controlled. They know exactly what they eat, how they live, and you know, they're fresh when they still have poop on the shell. Everything that we're able to do homemade, we make. So whenever we make their mayonnaise or salsa for whether it be sushi or anything like that, we make it homemade. So this right here is going to be 2 egg yolks, some lemon juice, garlic for flavor, some salt, and then olive oil, and that's going to be their mayonnaise. Normally you would whisk this, you would whisk in the oil really fast for a long time, but a little trick is to use a food blender, immersion blender, and that's going to take care of the whisking for you. And we have our homemade Liver King mayonnaise. So with the sushi rice, it's very important to season it as soon as it comes out of the rice cooker, or as soon as it's done cooking. So what he's gonna do is, now that it's done cooking, he's gonna season it with a mixture of some rice vinegar, maple syrup, and salt. One thing that I was really good at that I didn't expect to be good at is skinning testicles. This right here is the hand roll. And with this right here, we're gonna put the testicles with our homemade mayonnaise in there. So I have these right there. I have these already pre-made. We'll be just scooping in the testicles in there. The reason that we're not putting the testicles right now, I leave them in the fridge, is because testicles, when you leave them out, thawed out and cut up, they release some juices and it will make this all soggy. So we are making Liver King sashimi using chutoro, bluefin tuna piece. Chutoro is going to be the very belly part, and with the belly part you can have a lot of fat in there. So what I'm doing now is I'm preparing nigiri, but instead of using raw fish, we're going to use some raw liver and then top it off with a little bit of maple sugar and kind of just caramelize that on top. Our idea was to have the dinner in front of the McLarens for Striker's birthday, so that we could show off those McLarens. I can't find Liver King, so we're gonna take a risk right here and just go ahead and set it up, and hopefully that he agrees with it. We're gonna go down all the way to the lake, get the table, bring over his chairs, everything that he will have in a normal dinner setting, and get that set up, and we have 1 hour and 9 minutes to do it. We're going out on a whim. Worst case scenario, he tells us no, he hates it, then we'll figure out plan B. Oh, we'll see if we get Liver King's blessing. With the cars in the background? All right, cool. We're good. Big load off my shoulders. Things always go wrong. Our mayonnaise that we made earlier didn't congeal correctly, so we had to find a way to fix that in like 30 seconds. All right, and then we get some gloves and we'll get these out.
If it was already set up, I would say that maybe.
Gotcha. No, we'll bring it over here.
Okay.
How's that, Thomas? Yeah, so whenever we initially set the table out, the lighting wasn't an issue. But now, because it has been there for a little bit, the lighting did change. And so what we got to do is we had to reposition the table. Now the table's repositioned, it's now time to get everything out. And right now, flies are definitely an issue. So we have to time it almost perfectly to where the flies won't be much of an issue. We have our homemade mayo with some testicles.
Oh, that looks amazing. What do you call those?
Monkfish.
Those are sharks.
Four-man lobsters.
Hell yeah.
Wait, I can move this a little bit. Is this testicle?
Yeah.
Shit, we're getting way too many flies here. We gotta move, guys.
Primals need to know how hard Liver King Chef Lionel works on Saturday.
I'm Liver King Chef Lionel, and here's what we made for dinner tonight. We have some monkfish sashimi heads. These are gonna be called poor man's lobster. We have our testicle hand rolls. We have our raw liver sushi. We have our Liver King size sashimi made from bluefin tuna. We're gonna have some
bluefin tuna sushi. We got some salmon sushi. We have the carcass of the bluefin tuna right there. You can't get any fresher than that. We got our burgers with cheese. We have our bone marrow. We got fluffy mashed potatoes. And of course, we have some slow braised short ribs. That's what we're having tonight for dinner. Liver King Chef Lionel, out.
So whenever we were presenting outside, the flies were an issue because they were just swarming around the fish. And it's not an issue because it messes with the food. It's an issue because Liver King likes flies and we can't really control him sometimes.
I eat all the flies, and then it messes up the ecosystem for the spiders and whatever eats the spiders.
Spiders die, there's bugs come inside, starts a new pandemic, and who wants that? Whenever everyone's finished with the dinner, they tell me how great it is. It makes me feel good because I know that I got the job done. And also, painstakingly, we got the job done, and that's what matters. Right, Liver King?
I don't know what you said, I won't agree with it.
We get the job done is important.
You're trying to trick me into something. I know how that works.
It feels great though.